Hi. Oh fuck, I forgot to refresh the chat up. Everything should be working now. Hello everyone. Hello. Ooh, I have an error with Twitch chat. Eh? So I'm gonna wait, let me try to F5 because it's weird. Okay, it's working now. I could not see like Twitch chat for some reason. It was like bugged. Hello everyone. Hello. Hello Hells. You're the first to chat today. That's crazy. Hello Hells. Hello Andrew. Hello Strengths. Hello Marcus. Hello Vape. Hello Mastakazam. I hope I pronounced that properly. Hello Father of the Bride. Hello Tezra. Hello Marky of the Hell. Hello everyone. Hello. Stream today will be short, and by short I mean the usual time, 2 hours, but I will not be able to do more than 2 hours. Like, let me tell you guys, I am dying right now. I'm drinking a lot of water, don't worry about that. But when I tell you guys, my skin feels like it's burning in some parts. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm getting just get ACLMO. It's planned. Whenever possible, it's planned. It's like everyone is buying ACs right now, so the cost is going up, and the stock is going down, unfortunately. So it's not that easy, okay? But it's okay. It will happen at some point, hopefully. Sniffer, up, don't sniff me. I took a shower this morning, and like it felt good. And I think I'll stick to like 2 showers a day today. I mean, like one in which I wash myself normally, and the other one in which I just like dip myself into water. But like it's not going great. Thankfully, I invested early, best decision I ever made. Well, technically, like we had AC with my mom, but it was technically my grandma's AC. So like when she moved out, she like took it with her. And we were not expecting the heat wave to like be this bad, honestly. Otherwise, we would have already like gotten one. I just got out of a godsend shower. Ooh, nice. So today the planning is we are going to watch Warhammer 40k lore videos because I have tried what do you call it again? I've tried reading the books, and then I realized while trying to read it, I did not understand what was going on. I was like, huh? Who are these people? Who are they talking about? And that's why I was like, okay, I think before I get into the books, I need to know more. I feel like I don't know enough, and it scares me and everything. So like, I want to get into the books, but when I tried, I was like, okay, it's going to work. It's not going to work. I'm too stupid for the books. I would need a video explaining the law to me. No, but genuinely, I read like as I mentioned to you guys, the first 2 pages, and I was like, I don't know who they're talking about. Like, that sounds cool, but who the fuck are these people? Who the fuck are these people they're talking about? But wow, but where are the people I know? Where are the names I know? Where are the evil person I know? Did you read them in French or English? English. I do my reading in English. I do everything in English, to be fair, besides like IRL things, in real life things. Otherwise, I try to read in English and everything. I don't know Warhammer. Well, then you will learn today. I also want to get into the games. As I mentioned last time, I want to get into the tabletop game whenever possible. And maybe one or two of the video games. But I really want to like see some content of the tabletop game because I like tabletop games. They're great. So yeah, for today we'll only do react. I don't know what we'll react to yet. Which video we'll react to yet. If you have like videos you want me to react to, please do send them. However, you have to know something. I've already watched Astartes. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And a couple other videos. So, like, I'm not like entering new to details. There's some things I've seen, okay? So yes, I know about Astartes already, and I've seen a couple of videos from Crackduck, and I think that's about it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the other ones. There was also like the Emperor on TTS. I love it when Jane forged her own armor. I have no idea what Warhammer is about. Warhammer is like space marines. You have like lots of factions in space. Some are like demigods, some are like fucked up versions of orcs, humanity, and everything. There's lots of factions, different races, evil people, less evil but still evil people. There's a lot of things. It's hard to get into, but I like it. Hello, writer, how you doing? Hello, hello. Today in the newspaper they wrote, "It's hot. Thanks, newspaper. Top journalism." Yep. I don't read newspaper. I should, honestly. It's important, but at the same time, I don't care. It's terrible to say, but I don't care. Do you know what Mechanicus is? Vaguely, yeah. It reminds me of something. How about announcer of games Nick from videos? Huh? What is it? 40k in 40 minutes was good when I wanted to watch the tabletop game. Ooh. I do think it's something we might watch today, then. It's like only about the game or also about the lore? Real question. The Emperor, oh my god, Napoleon, no. What's a space marine? So imagine a marine, but they were made, like they were genetically made to be like super soldiers and whatnot. And they're very, very big buff dudes in very, very big cool armors and in space. Are you talking about Warhammer 40k? Yes, indeed. Like a whole war in the future in space. In a very distant future, but in another world. Like, there's elves, there's like a lot of races. It's not really like our future. It's a futuristic setup, but it's not like our future, as far as I know. Okay, I'll drink water. 40k in 40 minutes is only the game, not the lore. Okay. Well, I'll watch it off stream then. That way, when we get into... Well, we'll see. But I need to like learn more about the lore, honestly. So I can read some books. Hello, Jean, how you doing? They're like 3 meters still, yeah. So it's futuristic content, but it's not like the future of Earth and things like that. And there's humans, alright. Another glorious day with an Ellie stream, yeah. Yeah. Did we stream yesterday? I think we did not. No, we did not stream yesterday. Oh my god, guys, I almost like chose to like not stream today because I'm feeling not great. Like my head is kind of dizzy. And as I mentioned, like the skin burning and everything. Oh my god, it's terrible. I'm not even going outside, and it feels like I've been under the sun. You know what I mean? Like it's like I've gone under the sun and had like sunburns. But I'm in my home. I'm literally nowhere near the sun. France lost to Norway. That's wrong. We won 3-1, even though they were using their B team. 3 or 4-1. I think it's 3. I know it's like a triple from Mbappe, but I'm not sure. I bet this Warhammer game or whatever can beat a game of the year Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Oh my god, a good time to get into the game considering the new edition just released. You cannot say the game. Which game? The tabletop game? The tabletop game? Video game? Which game are you talking about? There's a lot. Like there's more games that have monies on my account. There's thousands of games. I've checked that on Steam. It's the future, but there are also demons and elves and orcs. Yeah. No, honestly, like my favorite part of the lore so far is how Slaanesh was born to be. Like that will always be like my favorite part as a beginner lore newbie, you know. It's just funny. Then why are you here? Because I wanted to stream. I didn't stream yesterday. Air conditioner is the friend. Yeah, but air conditioner expensive, and people are buying them out, so there's not a lot on the market. Serve me with a side of potatoes and baking and crisping up under the sun, and I'm indoors. Yeah, same. Exactly the same. Tabletop 40k, yes. Okay, thank you. I also want to get into the fantasy one because I think I would like it, but I know that's going to make a lot of people mad. But I'm someone that's really not a fantasy nerd, but I really enjoy fantasy settings. So I do think it would be easier for me to get into like the fantasy settings. And also because I have friends. I mean, Bretagne, right? They have Brittany? I don't remember what you guys said, but it's something like that. Everything explains with magic, so it's not really sci-fi. Yeah, but it's not really magic either. It's like psychic power. Botonia. Okay, I was right. I remember. It's been so long since the last stream. Let me check. When was it? I think it was a month ago, something like that. 10th of May, so a bit over a month ago. But to be fair, I wanted to do this stream earlier, but I didn't get to do it. For the lady, etc. I see. Your character looks so much like a sister of battle, and the fact that it's just a coincidence is just so funny. Yeah, it's a coincidence, but there was a very great fan art commissioned by Painless Red in chat. Let me get it again. Somewhere on my computer. If I scroll a bit. Sorry. Nope, not here. Maybe I've saved it into something else. Oh my god, my computer is having issues like using the... Like the file explorer is having so many issues on my computer. I don't know why. Wait, who stole your design? No one stole my design. What? Hello, Legend Bladers. Hello. What the fuck? Okay. I thought that the file explorer crashed, but no, it did not. I was about to get mad. Like, imagine your file explorer crashing. Where are we? But my file explorer is having issues. Big issues. Hi. What the fuck is this GIF? A tail wag. Oh my god, I'm sorry, but the tail wag doesn't look like a tail from far away. I'm sorry, but... Oh, I got concerned. I got very, very concerned for a second. I'll just say that. Okay, here. Look, there's a Sister of Battle Elise, actually. That was commissioned. Up. Look. It's Elise, Sister of Battle. The real deal. Was commissioned by Painless Red Charter that had not been very available lately. Viking Elise. No, it's not Viking Elise. It's Sister of Battle Elise. Warhammer 40k Elise. And I think the art is great. Like, I love how they made it like really knight-ish, but at the same time like futuristic. So the Sisters of Battle are actually inspired by you. No, they were already cooler and existed before me, and I did not intend to look like them either. It's just like a very funny coincidence because I literally did not know anything about Warhammer, besides that there were like space marines, and that's about it. Hello Vejve as well. Hello everyone. I'm going to say it a lot during today's stream, but drink water, please. There's a lot of people dying because of heat strokes recently, especially in France. So drink a lot of water. Remember to cool yourself and take care of yourself. It's a very hot time. So yeah, be prepared for me saying that at least like 10 times today. At least. Maybe more. If Jeanne d'Arc was an anime. Actually, Jeanne d'Arc is already an anime. She's in Fate. I don't know which one. I've never watched Fate. I play a daily game that's called Annie Guesser, and every time there's a Fate character, I get mad because I never know which Fate there is. There's so many Fate, and I don't fucking care about them. I sent a vote in the Warhammer channel talking about the Emperor entire life if you're interested. Ooh, video about the... Let me check. His entire life. Okay. The complete history of the Emperor explained. Wait, that's actually interesting. I think we'll start with that because the Emperor is kind of like one of the most important character in the series. I mean, I don't know if in English you can call it a series. In French, it will not be a good way to like describe it. But in a way, it's a series of like movies and everything. Movies. There was a movie, no? But it was bad. I think if I remember correctly, there's going to be a TV show and it's going to be like directed by thank you Regine for the reset, like thank you, it's much appreciated. I think it's going to be directed by that one like Superman guy, Henry Cavill. But I don't know if there was already a TV show before. I'm not sure. I could be like mixing it up with like World of Warcraft, which had a movie that was apparently very, very garbage. I know he was just a normal dude in the old lore. Really? Dang. Damn. No, that's a big sword. I have a big sword too. Come on, I drank 7 liters, but I also walked outside. 7 liters? Be careful, because 7 liters, like, there's also something called over-drinking. Even if you work outside. I mean, I don't know how it works, but you can die from hydrocution, which is to drink too much water. Hopefully you'll be okay. Maybe, like, you drank so much because you needed it. I hope so. Most can't understand her because she refuses to speak any other language than French and kills you if you dare to speak this filthy heretic known as English. Yet here I am, streaming in English. Fully dead too. I see. There's been a lot of Warhammer shows or cartoons. Just search Warhammer Plus, not sponsored. Okay. Well, let's first start to like the complete history of the Emperor explained. Because the things I know about the Emperor is basically, well, he became the Emperor, and then he made his son in the Legion, and then he got stabbed because he was betrayed, and then he's sitting on a throne that's like killing, I mean, not killing, but absorbing 1,000 souls every day to keep him in a very vegetative state. That's all I know about him. Which is like not the best way to describe it. Will you be trying out Total Warhammer 40k when it comes out? Yeah, definitely. But like maybe not exactly when it comes out. I don't know. I don't want to like look like I want to surf on the hype and things like that. You know what I mean? Let me like do something real quick. I will do that. We'll add like a very small scene so you guys like don't miss too much because of my biggest head. I look like I have boobs, but I don't. Okay. Up, like that. I'm not going to put it in full screen. Or maybe actually. Or maybe I can. Okay. Let me try. Let's see if you guys have a sound. You don't have sound. Okay. Let me just change that real quick. Okay. Thank you for the resub as well. Like 9 months. You got a child now. What's his name? Okay. Now you will have the sound. I will like lower it, especially in my ears. You guys tell me. We are going to do a couple of check with the first 3 seconds. You tell me if like the sound is alright with you, or if it's like too loud or something.
The Emperor, once the most powerful being to ever walk among us, is old enough to have seen the rise of human civilization.
So what do you guys think? Too loud? Not loud enough? What do you guys think? I'm putting out subtitles because I'm still ESL. The video from VTuber about the Emperor is very good. Let's see. We're starting with this one. Can you fry an egg with sunlight in France yet? Yes. But that's not hard, guys. You can do that even in like 30 degrees of temperature because the sun is hot. It's about like the shadows. His name should be God Emperor of Mankind. I think it might be a bit loud compared to it. That's the point. The point is for me to be louder than it, so I can like talk over it when needed, ask questions and everything. The bit is for me to be just a bit louder, you know. I don't think that when you're watching something, when you're doing a react, you should be like at the same decibels or lower than what you're watching. Otherwise, it doesn't add to it. Tyrannate. Okay. So if the sound is good, let's just restart the video just to make it clean. Anyway, Smash.
The Emperor, once the most powerful being to ever walk among us, is old enough to have seen the rise of human civilization. Spent untold ages watching us grow, shaping humanity into a unified empire that spans the galaxy, rules over trillions of souls, and is defended by transhuman super soldiers against horrors from beyond reality itself. And now that same being sits silent and withered on an alien throne that is barely keeping him alive, while humanity worships him as the kind of god he would have despised. How did our greatest protector go from chosen one to holy corpse? Well, watch closely because
I've seen like the
ecclesiarchy
comparison
isn't
you
going
guys
to
showed
give
me
us
last
another
time
permit to cover the
of how
history
like he
of the
used to be like a more robotic
The Emperor has been
looking
alive for an
creature.
extremely long time, so pinpointing his origins is understandably tricky. Anything about his life that can be found is either deeply unreliable or so vague that
Minecraft
it might as
skeleton
well be
noises when you
myth.
smash him.
And this was probably done on purpose. Big E might not have wanted to be a god, but he understood that knowledge is power. From what we can piece together,
I thought he
the
was going
child
to
who
make
would
a Game of
eventually
Thrones
become known
reference.
as the Emperor was born around the year 8000 BCE in ancient Sumeria on Earth. This
Oh,
was
it's
a time
real
when humanity
Earth.
was starting to form the very first civilizations across the globe, and with that level of organization came the hungry attention of chaos. Monsters from the hellish dimension of the warp feed on emotion and belief, things that are made stronger when sentient creatures gather. Thankfully, humans had already started to understand these creatures. In our earliest days, we called the wise people who looked into the warp names like shaman or sorcerer. They were revered as holy folk,
The
and
design is
groups
so
of them
cool.
had even
Right, I
discovered
really like. It looks like a Wendigo. This one. Well, you cannot see because of my big ass head, but this one looks a bit like a Wendigo. It's super cool. Shamans, okay. But what like in the future, he thinks that the people that interact with the warp, they should die, right? Like the like in the past, it was okay to like read the warp, but then when the emperor came, he decided that everyone that could should die.
how to live forever. We would come to know them as perpetuals, and they weren't unique to humans, but human immortals had some wild ideas about how to handle chaos. And those ideas centered around how perpetuals work. When one of these people dies, their soul goes to the warp, just like every other living creature. Somehow, through meditation or sacrifice or some really good drugs, perpetuals manage to keep a tether on their souls, and after a little time, they get pulled back to life. Some of them are even...
So they die and then they undie. But do they go to the warp and then come back from the warp? That's a question. That's a very important question. Reborn. Yeah, reborn entirely, okay. Wendigo are cool, but what about listen? I don't know listen. I'm not very like aware of all the culture of Native Americans.
Born this way, and as a perpetual dies over and over, they gain experience and knowledge that they get to keep building on.
Perpetuals are ReZero, guys. They die and they keep the knowledge. I mean, it's not exactly the same thing. It's more like cats that have 9 lives, I guess. But they keep, like, the knowledge. I see. I didn't know about, like, perpetuals, I think. Or at least I don't remember them. Their body and spirit regenerates, even if they would be disintegrated. Whoa.
And of course, they get to see firsthand what the warp is actually like. So, having both the wisdom of multiple lives and the knowledge of a hell dimension full of monsters hungry for human souls, a group of these perpetual shaman decided that they weren't strong enough to protect the Earth. They needed to make a guardian. They called it the New Man, and the idea was to take all their wisdom and their power and combine it into one body. But to do that, they had to die. And we mean really die. They gathered all at once and then timed their ritual suicide. Thousands of perpetual warp scholars sent their souls to the immaterium at the same time, and instead of going back to their bodies, they stayed together and waited for the right child to be born. And 1 year later, a baby named Neoth opened his eyes.
They were lucky
the
that it was just
had become
1 year.
One being, a perpetual with the wisdom of thousands of people and enough power to make him the strongest psyker humanity had ever seen. That wasn't exactly a high bar to clear. In fact, from the sound of things, Neoth wasn't much stronger than an Aldari warlock, but his ability to see the future and to resist the corruption of chaos were unmatched by any human before, and he had plenty of other powers that he would grow into.
Wait, I want to read all of that. I mean, not all of that, but a part of that.
Before, and he had plenty of other powers.
Fossil creation, genius intelligence, technology manipulation, vehicular mastery, preparation, teleportation, tech potency, city block level, fossil creation, causality. The Emperor's soul perceives time differently. What the fuck? Okay. So they forced their own souls in one little baby to make like super baby. CBT resistant. I don't know what CBT is. Oh, cock and bull torture. Is that right? I just got out of the shower. Should I wear my black shirt or my newest black shirt? Do you want to die? Do you not have anything white?
Despite that, Neoth would live through most of humanity's early years, quietly hiding from the historical record for the most part. His whole existence revolved around keeping the growing human civilization safe, but it wasn't until a horrible tragedy in his family that his concept of justice was solidified. When Neoth was still young, his father...
So Neoth is the name of the emperor? I just learned that. I didn't know that either. For me, it was just like the emperor. Like for a second, I was confused. I was like, are there two different people or like no?
Was killed by his uncle in a story eerily similar to the biblical fable of Cain and Abel. Neoth's psychic powers gave him a vision of this event, and upon discovering that the visions were real, Neoth calmly approached his murderous uncle and stopped his heart with a thought. Visions and some telepathy isn't exactly...
What? What? So the Emperor's name was Palpatine. Yeah, I thought, no, it's not Palpatine. It's Sheev Palpatine. It's different. Haha. Yes, he's the Emperor. Hope he has new groove. Stop with the pun. Fuck you. He just walked up to his uncle and was like, okay, your art is going to stop. Okay. Excuse us.
The sort of power that would shake the universe, but it's more important to focus on what Neoth had learned from this moment. It's said that he didn't execute his uncle out of malice, but he didn't show sorrow either, even for his father. Now, we know from other historical accounts of the Emperor's actions and conversations with others that he does feel emotions, but this moment shows us a big part of who he was as a person, and that is his cold determination to do what he views as right, no matter how he feels about the people who are lost along the way. Whether he acted like this because he was wildly intelligent or because he was essentially an avatar of the human will to survive is unclear. What is clear is that his behavior would go on to be a major point of conflict in every single one of his relationships.
It's sad that he didn't get like the good quality for the art. Fuck, I'm getting way too like self-stripe, guys. I need to focus. I need to focus. The Emperor goes by many names. Neos was one of them. Was it like technically his first name? Women not fall for murderer. Challenge impossible. Oh, come on. In this like setting, everyone is a murderer.
From his time in Terra's prehistory all the way up until the present of the 42nd
Cannibal, we are Adam and
In the
Eve
grim
kids.
Darkness of the far future, there is only war and an endless need to adapt. Because whether you're a tech priest of Mars or just someone here in M2 trying to forge a better path, knowledge is power and skill is survival. This video is sponsored by boot.dev and
Up. If you care about it, you care about it. I don't. Okay.
Growing up in the ancient world with powers that would make any of his peers think he's either a god or a demon would mess anyone up. But luckily, Neoth was also hyper-intelligent and seems to have mostly kept his head down, except for when he played around with being a king. Look, considering his experiences with the concept of justice and the society he was growing up in, it was probably unsurprising.
From what I am understanding and seeing, basically Neos, the Emperor, was born in like a time like that was like similar to like ancient Rome, or was it like similar to maybe, I don't know, the medieval times? But like it's super like far into our past, right? Like at least like if he existed, it meant that he was like born like 1,700 years ago. No, not way before. Way before that? Oh. No, but like let's say we relate it to like our real world. Bronze Age? I don't know. Oh. Before the Roman Empire. Okay, because they seemed like civilized. I mean, that's terrible of me to say, but you know what I mean? Like, they seemed a bit more civilized than Bronze Age men. I see. So, like, he was almost from the Unga Bunga time.
Surprising.
You think he would, like, play Wretch in Elden Ring?
What else was he supposed to do with all those gifts? It's not like any of the shaman who created him were around to tell him what his purpose was. And while he could hide his powers, he couldn't hide how completely superior he was. So he became a king. Leading a small tribe to become one of the strongest kingdoms in Sumeria, Neoth met and befriended another perpetual, the man that would eventually be called Olanius Person, and who would be Neoth's very first War Master. It's likely that Person was the first of many perpetuals who joined Neoth on his adventures. The shaman weren't the only immortals on the planet, and others kept being born or finding their way to everlasting life. Neoth often went out of his way to convince others to join him, as these people were often some of the only ones who knew chaos like he did. To begin with, though, it was just him and Olanius, and together they made their kingdom safe, created a system of laws, and discovered new power in the form of Enuncia. This was one of the first brushes Neoth had with pure warp power. Enuncia are special words that, if spoken aloud or written, would have reality-bending powers. And it just so happened that even though the gods of the warp were not as powerful as they would be in the 42nd millennium, ancient Terra was not immune to chaos cultists, and a powerful group of them had formed a kingdom in eastern Phoenicia that had begun.
Right, so they're living next to each other on the map. I think he was born in Anatolia, not in Sumerian. Maybe Anatolia is in Sumerian. I don't know anything about that. 7,000 before Christ, current day Turkey. In the book of the Master of Mankind, the Emperor shows his childhood to custodies, and it was in huts. But it was a vision, so he might just have created it. Oh, maybe he was manipulating his son, is what you're saying.
To build a massive tower layered with Enuncia in order to open a warp portal and give Terra to the gods. Yes, this is the Tower of Babel and the second biblical reference involving the Emperor. Neoth and his armies crushed this cult, and the future Emperor, who had seemingly never come across warp effects like this before, wanted to preserve the town in order to study the warp and learn how to protect humanity from its effects.
Interesting.
But Olanius was very against it, believing that having a whole tower covered in magical writing just begging to be turned into an open warp portal was just a little too dangerous. Having gotten just about fed up with Neoth by this point, Olanius stabbed his friend, spoke a line of Enuncia to cause the tower to come crashing down, and ran for it, setting the precedent for allies getting sick of Neoth's lack of ethics and for his war masters betraying him all at once. Olanius and Neoth would find each other a few more times during the next 30 millennia, helping each other from time to time, which might sound odd, but really, when you're immortal, what's a little stabbing between friends? Now, like we said earlier, there is a shocking lack of Neoth's fingerprints on the historical record during these early years, and while it's possible that he had taken on the identities of many other but less notable rulers, it's more likely that his plans often required a lighter touch than being a king would allow. As time goes on, we are seeing that Neoth is a very goal-oriented person and didn't seem to care about personal glory
and what is
all
his
that
goal?
much. We have only one last semi-confirmed reference to Neoth during this time period, and in fact, it would be the last we see of him until near the end of the Dark Age of technology. So it's wild that this last famous appearance of the future emperor is none other than Alexander the Great. Coming to the throne of Macedonia in 336 BCE, Alexander is still recognized as one of the most talented and successful military leaders in humanity's history. And over the course of his 13 years as king, Neoth, as Alexander, would conquer most of the area that he grew up in. This
Wait, what? In 40k lore, Alexander the Great is the... I mean, he's the emperor of Rome, yeah. But he's also like the future emperor of mankind?
was likely the last time he tried to organize humanity by force until the 30th millennium, and how this attempt ended really shows us what Neoth's limitations were at this time. It is famously said that when Alexander reached the river Hyphasis, he wept when he realized that there were no more worlds to conquer. True or not, it's clear that after the battle that led him to the river, Neoth was convinced that there was nothing left.
Technically, it's heavily linked, but it's not the same. Shakespeare exists, but he's named Shakespeare, and the continent's got weird names. The theory is that our universes are linked by the warp. Oh, I really like this theory. I really like it. But what the fuck is your name? I just realized your name is Gatteri.b, and in French, for those who don't know, in French, Gatteri is, you know, it's glob. Et BN is a biscuit. So his name in French is Glob Glob for Biscuit, if you know what I mean. Anyways, the goal of the Emperor is for humanity to be the peak of all race and dominating the galaxy into a civilization of science and self-perfection goal. I see. I'm not a big fan of like wanting humanity to be on top of everything or on everything existing, but why not?
To accomplish with his armies. Conquering the Earth was not going to save humanity on its own.
I can
However,
fix him.
this is also when he came across a device that would change everything, the Golden Throne. Or at least the device that would be built into the Golden Throne. The record's a little unclear on how intact the artifact was when he found it in the deserts of Asia. Regardless, this thing was a game changer for Neoth.
Wait, the throne he like uses even in the future like to not die is the throne he found in like Asia? Bro went to China and found the throne of immortality? What the fuck? Not exactly. Maybe he'll explain. I'll ask you again afterwards. He was also Saint George, and the dragon he slayed was a shard of the Void Dragon he put inside Mars. It's crazy. Not China, Nepal. Oh, I said China because he just said Asia, but what the fuck?
It gave him the best chance he had to protect humanity from the horrors of the warp, but he didn't quite know it yet. What he did know was this device was clearly alien in nature and was some sort of control for the opening and closing of a special
Wait, why is he mugging?
portal. For now, though, all his intuition told him that this thing felt like it was the key to Terra's future and needed to be studied. So while he stayed mostly in the shadows, softly guiding humanity along, he gathered other perpetuals to his side and started making a plan for the future. Until that future blew up in humanity's collective face. The people of Terra spent the next several millennia growing and fighting and inventing, going from the Bronze Age tribes.
He's one of the four like demons, right?
To a fully fledged interplanetary society. Advanced power generation and propulsion allowed us to reach the nearest stars inside human lifetimes. Cutting-edge genetic manipulation gave us the ability to modify ourselves to suit our new conditions and led to the first abhumans, the people who would one day become the squat kindred of the Votan. Next-generation robotics led to massive leaps forward in quality of life, and even
Hello, Darkanify! Dark Age of technology was hyper-advanced humanity at its peak. I see. Just send it to Disney article for a minute here. Edison not X, the Emperor of Mankind, didn't know it existed, but hey, whatever makes her happy. I'm just kidding. He scares me. But on some art, he's hot. I would smash, but, you know. Okay.
Creation of the first truly sentient artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, Neoth watched, studied the mechanisms of the Golden Throne, and made his plans. This part of our history and the Emperors is understandably difficult to sort out. This coming apocalypse would end up sending humanity back millennia in terms of technological
But which one is Monarch again, guys?
And would erase huge portions of our records. From what we can put together, Neoth
which
had been gathering other
main
perpetuals to his banner, and with these allies, he had attempted to steer humanity in a more subtle way. During this time period, we have references to the Men of Gold, who were advanced humans with the power and authority to manipulate Terra like a ruling council. They made
crazy. Just so you know, humanity during the Dark Age of technology encounters the Eldar and Orc at their peak and classifies them as minor threats. So that's how, like, advanced they were at the time. I mean, when... Like, the Eldar at that time were, like, super weakened, no? Because of all, like, the partying and everything. Like, Slaanesh already existed long ago. So, like, the Eldar at this point is are still, like, a bit weakened, no? No. Okay.
The Men of Stone and sent them into space to establish colonies and gather materials. We're pretty sure these are the Votan. They also made the Men of Iron, mechanical beings powered by true artificial intelligence who would kick off the Age of Strife that ended.
Slaanesh, Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch are the Chaos Gods. Then what is Molech again? Huh? I thought it was one of gods. My bad. I mixed it up. Slaanesh was created last after the Dark Age on technology. Oh, Slaanesh is that recent? Oh. So, like, the Eldars were, like, still, like, fucking each other when Terra met them. Okay. Okay. They were just like focused on just like passing and everything, I see.
Our utopia. The problem is that we're not sure who the Men of Gold were. It could be that Neoth and his followers were this group of powerful humans making decisions and experimenting in ways that are very similar to what the Emperor would eventually perfect millennia later. But Neoth had a habit of pissing off his allies, and even if he was the most powerful immortal on Terra, he wasn't the only one, and he still wasn't so outrageously powerful that he couldn't be challenged yet. So these Men of Gold could easily have been another group of perpetuals who also wanted to advance human civilization and just didn't want to work with Neoth. For our money, that seems to be the most likely, not because this group was eventually pulled down in a bloody revolution, but because they likely had a hand in pushing humanity to use the warp for the Empire's expansion, something Neoth was very much against. There's no records that indicate exactly how it happened, but around this time, psychers started being born on Terra at surprising rates. Previously, psychic individuals were rare and weak, but during this golden age of humanity's growth, new psychers emerged with the ability to manipulate the fabric of the warp. At that
Damn, that's very pushed. That's very, very pushed. There is a funny way to pronounce TH. Snitch. What? Are you following the law from the start? And just the law of the Emperor right there. It's just the story of the Emperor for now, not the entire law of Warhammer. Have like a very like small knowledge of the entire lore. Like it starts with like there's like the old gods, then there's like the cowards, they fight, and then there's the elders fucking at the same time, and they create Slaanesh, and then that blah 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 and everything. And there's like the cowards that they freeze themselves. They go into hibernation, and then there's all the events happening, and at the end they unfreeze themselves. That's a very, very, very badly solved one.
At the same time, although the humans didn't know it, the fall of the Eldari birthed the chaos god Slaanesh. This catastrophic event caused an explosion in the warp so large that it not only blew a gaping hole into real space, which we later called the Eye of Terror, but it also used up a lot of energy, and the Sea of Souls became calm enough for humanity's first jumps into the warp to be deceptively calm and easy to manage. But Neoth wasn't fooled. During the time he spent with the Golden Throne, he became aware of just how dangerous messing with the warp was. He knew it was just a matter of time before the creatures of the Immaterium got hungry and powerful again.
There is a Thieves God, but due to Games Workshop they don't want to pay the creator royalties, they don't use him. What's the last god then? It's funny how big he is the biggest Roman LARPer, probably because he saw them themselves.
Would need a safer way to travel the galaxy, where they would end up being the newest chew toys for chaos. The Golden Throne took care of the
I only follow idiot. Welcome here. I am indeed an idiot.
Travel part of this plan, if Neoth could ever get it to work, but there was a much more difficult part that needed to be handled.
My mom has chosen for me, for her to cut her nails the moment I stream. Why? It's just so annoying. Manal, that's his name. And what is he the god of? Hello, Master Kazam. It's been a while since I could visit and notice his model change. Happens to be a few things I really like. Thank you. It's much appreciated. I got in the right place here, you did. So he's the god of war. Yeah, I didn't even notice the fucking jawline and the fucking nose as well. Like you can cut something with it. You can cut something with his nose. So sharp you could cut cheese with that. Yeah. Thank you for the follow, by the way. But what is who is Malal? What is he the god of? Sorry. Just wanted to say thanks for the stream. I appreciate you. I'll be working on the PNG tuber I have, and I will return at the end to say bye. Goodbye. Andrew, have a nice one.
If humanity was to be
the chaos god of hating chaos. Of hating chaos, like the concept of the warp chaos. Interesting.
Become actually safe. They would have to cut themselves off from the warp entirely. But that's incredibly difficult to do. The warp and everything in it is fueled by the emotions of mortal creatures. The best you can really do is just not believe in it or sacrifice your souls like the Necrons did, but that wasn't an option Neoth was willing to consider. We mentioned earlier that the warp and the creatures in it thrive on concentrated emotion and belief. Neoth couldn't stop humans from gathering in big numbers. It's what he wanted to encourage, actually, so what he needed to do is basically starve the warp out by convincing humanity that the Immaterium wasn't a living, demon-filled nightmare realm. It was just an alternate reality with weird aliens. Don't look too close and you'll be fine. It's all very scientific, I promise. So managing strict disbelief in the warp as a sentient force on a societal scale seemed to be the best option, but that would take some extremely authoritarian work. Luckily for Neoth, he wasn't above being a dictator, but how could he take over humanity, which was now a multiplanetary species, enforce his control on a population of trillions, and take over the entire galaxy in the name of Holy Terra? Well, he was going to need armies for that, and not just any old mortal armies either. He'd need totally loyal monsters, able to stand up to the worst
and that's
the galaxy
why
had
he
to throw at him,
created the
and they would
Space
have to be
Marines.
led by generals he could trust, and who were so powerful that even the forces of chaos would fear them. And since that wasn't possible, even with the wild futuristic tech of humanity at the time, Neoth would have to find a shortcut. And since Psychers had started accidentally summoning demons all over the place, and the AI...
Were there like still like some illustrations, like description, not illustrations, but description of the Emperor for everyone to like draw him with like long black hair? Or was it like someone drew him like that and everyone was like, oh my god, that looks cool, we'll all draw the Emperor like that? Like, was there ever like a description in the book of the Emperor, or just like everyone decided collectively, he has long dark hair, by the way?
Of iron had begun to rebel, time was of the essence. Neoth decided he was going to steal knowledge and power from the very enemies he was fighting. Cue the heist music, because Neoth was heading to Molech. With human colonies across the galaxy falling to infighting, demonic incursions, and Xenos...
He's legally distinct Jesus. Legally distinct, yeah.
Raiding parties, Neoth boarded a one-way shuttle to the distant planet of Molech with a single follower, another perpetual named Olivia Soreka. This planet was...
Olivia is like the... if I remember correctly, tell me if I'm wrong. She's like the kind of like his wife, but not really. Like she's the birth mother of his sons, right? Like she also like shares the DNA of the Emperor in like the sons they created together. Am I right? I think it's the case. I remember reading about that. That's just how he shows himself. Oh.
Was vaguely Earth-like and was already home to a human colony who defended their settlements with massive walking industrial machines that would eventually become Night Titans during the darkness of Old Night that was soon to follow the collapse of the human empire. But Neoth wasn't on Molech to enjoy the wilderness or the big stompy mechs. He was
not
there
the
for
same
Molech's
lady.
best-kept secret. The planet had a stable gateway into the realm of chaos. Ancient cults sometimes gained the ability to open these stable portals, usually using Enuncia, just like with the cult Neoth put down way back in his early days on Terra. Molech gave Neoth the opportunity to dive into the warp and directly commune with the gods of chaos, which would be a death sentence for anyone else, but Neoth had only gotten stronger and wiser during the last couple millennia, and he had a plan. It was clever and intricate and genius. He lied to them. His big plan was to lie to the gods of the warp, and the messed up part is that it worked. Neoth entered the portal in Molech, offered the gods his service in exchange for more power, and they gave it to him. He walked out of that portal a god himself and never looked back. Now, it's likely that he was forced to complete some challenges during his time there. The Chaos Gods are suckers for playing games, but it's clear Neoth was able to beat them.
Wait, he scammed the gods, the Chaos Gods? He went to the Chaos God and went, hey, yo, I'm the Prince of Nigeria. If you give me power, I'll give it back to you in 5 years. and the Chaos God just say, yeah, bro. I like it.
handily and prove he was trustworthy. In fact, an old fable about a young girl who entered the labyrinth of the scheming god Tzeentch and defeated his puzzle might very well be referring to Neoth using an unassuming form to beat the Lord of Change and win his support. We can't know since the deal was between Neoth and the gods alone, but we do know that he would eventually break that agreement and suffer for it. But that's skipping ahead a bit. Neoth's plan was going well so far, and with his new godlike powers and the looming threat of consequences,
the pretty privilege
it was
is
time
crazy.
to move on to the next step. To kick things off, he was going to start with the process of making his extra special generals that would help him
He called it the Emperor's New Groove, fucking hell. Even the video is queuing about it. Cusco is great, so I cannot be mad.
Take the galaxy. But when he got back to Terra, Neoth found an absolute mess. The collapse of the human empire had left even the cradle of humanity a blasted wasteland. Ruled over by warlords and techno-barbarians, Terra had become a place of constant battle, which was something Neoth couldn't allow. Terra would have to be pacified before starting his great project. His weapon
if like Earth becomes like always like fighting. Oh, Astartes. If like Earth keep fighting themselves, doesn't that feed like the war god? So it's bad.
choice in these unification wars was genetic modification. Neoth had learned a great deal about genetics over the years, and while he wasn't the foremost expert, he certainly knew who was. Gathering several choice followers,
so
including the brilliant Amara Stardi and Urda, one of his first friends among the Perpetuals, Neoth began building his army. He started with the Thunder Warriors. He made engineered soldiers built for power and fast recovery, knowing that they were a stopgap measure to buy him time to practice his real art. And while his Thunder Warriors slowly defeated more and more warlords, Neoth started working on the key to his plans, a test of his blueprint for the perfect warriors, the Custodes. Faster and stronger than the Thunder Warriors, and much more mentally stable, the Custodes were taken from the best of the best that humanity had to offer. These people would be made into the greatest warriors, each of them capable of defeating whole armies on their own, or holding intricate conversations on the complexities of the universe. And they were 100% loyal to boot, with mental conditioning stripping much of their personal ambition and emotions. Custodes were basically biological robots, and were the proof that Neoth could make his generals when he was ready to. The problem, of course, was that the creation process was wildly impractical and took forever. He would never take the galaxy with his Custodes. They were just too difficult to replace when they fell in battle, which they did occasionally, even with all their gifts. The Thunder Warriors might be able to take Terra, but Neoth certainly couldn't trust them out in space where they would have to operate without his oversight. So he needed one more stopgap solution, and we should probably stop here to talk about two very important people, because Neoth wasn't making these decisions on his own. As godlike as he was, no one could manage such a wildly...
that wasn't an she's an immortal. She's been there a long time, I see. Generally we called it a kingdom for a llama. It's funny.
Intricate plan without friends. The first he found while pacifying what was left of Asia in the Himalayan mountains, Neoth would meet the man who would become his greatest friend, Malkador the Sigillite. Malkador was a powerful psyker and a perpetual, and he immediately saw that Neoth was the future of humanity. It was Malkador who suggested that Neoth become the emperor, and who helped him figure out the details of how his new imperium
So he has a
operate.
psyker friend.
But there was a second person helping the newly crowned emperor figure out his game plan, and that was Amar Astardi. A brilliant biological engineer, Astardi would help Neoth refine his Thunder Warriors into a much more stable and easier to produce type of soldier, a template that she would give her name to, the Astartes. And while she would eventually come to believe these Space Marines were doomed to failure and would attempt a coup on the Imperial Palace in order to destroy her work, these super soldiers were her finest creations and would go on to shape the galaxy for the next 12,000 years. But that's for the grimdark future. For now, the Emperor was just about in control of Terra, had a solution for spreading out into the galaxy, and was finally starting work on his greatest creation, his 20 sons, his Primarchs. Like we said before, the Primarchs were intended to be super-powered Custodes. They were supposed to be raised in the Emperor's palace by Malkador and Neoth.
Oh, this art is super great. It showcases so many of them as well. And they all have like a distinct personality. Wait, there's a Chinese Primarch? I mean an Asian one? Maybe like a Mongolian one. What the fuck?
Psycho conditioning to be the perfect obedient soldiers. Each was made for a specific purpose and given a measure of the Emperor's new power.
What is this from? Because it looks like it's from a video game. Could be wrong. Warhammer has two separate fictional universe. The Warhammer Fantasy came first in the 80s. Then they made the sci-fi version 40k. It took many ideas from the fantasy version, Chaos, Metal, where he's right on the Primarch. Oh my god. Jagatai Khan is in the other book. They always do an Asian accent. Okay. Astartes were weaker than Thunder Warriors, though. I see. But smarter.
To guarantee that nothing could stand up to them. And this is why Neoth had made such a risky play. Stealing power from the petty and vindictive gods isn't exactly a recipe for success after all.
True.
But the Emperor was somehow able to copy this new power, the bit that had pushed him over the edge from being just a really powerful psyker to being a capital G god, and he took this power and some genetic material from himself and his friend Erda, coupled it with the genetic genius of Amara Stardi, and created beings unlike anything ever seen before. Creatures who were basically demons anchored to reality.
That's the dude with the very cool speech, right? The one that dies. Yes, free power. I remember we listened to the speech, it was very crazy.
Using physically perfect bodies, which is when the Chaos Gods stepped in to ruin his plans. Of course, the gods weren't really fooled. They might have briefly let their greed win over their better judgment, but we're talking about creatures who have plans stretching back to before Earth had life. They absolutely knew the Emperor would betray them, and maybe Neoth knew that the gods knew, but okay, let's stop there. That headache is coming back. The point is that clearly the Emperor had hoped that his defense would hold and he would be able to raise his sons for long enough to handle whatever the Chaos Gods could throw at him. And he was clearly wrong. The 20 pods holding the growing Primarch embryos, 19 if you believe Alfarius, were thrown into the warp and deposited on worlds across the galaxy. And the game was on.
No, it's Invade Uwu. Welcome here, welcome to the Bloomer Army. So 20 Primarchs are done from the DNA of the Emperor. Astartes are human injected with their Primarch DNA. And Custals are son of the big houses and are made in test tubes. Okay. 20 minus 2 Primarchs. Yeah, then that was sent to space randomly by the woman. I remember that part.
The Emperor had all these new Space Marines designed to work with their Primarchs and no Primarchs to lead them. He had no choice but to start his conquest of the galaxy without them and hope to find his sons in the process. He would, of course, one by one, coming across them as his psychic visions led him from one planet to the next. Finding each of them was bittersweet, as every one of the Primarchs had grown up outside of the Emperor's control, and so were not the perfect leaders he had wanted to make. And some were even worse than imperfect, looking at you, Lorgar. And I guess Angron, but that absolutely wasn't his fault. And speaking of Angron, this is actually a good time to explain some of the Emperor's behavior during this.
Who is Aegon? It's the first time I hear of him. I know that Lorgar is a fucking bastard, but I don't remember learning about Aegon.
Period. Big E gets a lot of heat for how he treated some of the Primarchs, and rightfully so.
Okay. And they landed on worlds that fitted personality. Coincident, I think not. Or maybe the worlds shaped their personality. The Primarch was snatched by the Chaos while still in the labs in Nep. Sent around and sometimes infected. Angron angry. Okay.
But the context of what was happening at the time matters. As the Great Crusade dragged on, the Emperor was losing precious time that he needed to stay ahead of the Chaos Gods and complete his plan. While he had been conquering the galaxy, Malkador and a handful of other leaders had helped the Emperor build a society that essentially worshipped reason instead of mysticism. The imperial truth had taken place of the many gods of old religion and had successfully kept major warp incursions to a minimum. But with every new encounter with a non-Imperium
society... So they still kept religion, but tried to manipulate people into believing in old religion. That way they don't fall for the current chaos gods and don't become chaos worshippers. Is that what I'm understanding? I'm stopping in to say hello. It's okay. Have a nice time, PC. Hello. No religion allowed. Oh, I misunderstood that part then. Let me play it again.
Truth had a society that essentially worshipped reason instead of mysticism. The imperial truth had taken place of the many gods of old religion and had successfully kept major warp incursions to a minimum. But with every new encounter with a non-Imperium society came the risk of people learning the truth about the nightmare realm of the warp and the horrors that live there. The Emperor needed to finish his Golden Throne and get humanity to stop using the warp for travel, and he had exactly 0 time to be kind to his sons. This, of course, eventually led to him making some choices that he knew would be costly, but he had to make either way. Neoth was extremely powerful at this point, and his visions of the future were very accurate, so he knew what was going to happen with the Primarchs. He knew that withdrawing to the palace to work on the human webway portal would make them grow bitter, and he knew that his Warmaster and beloved son, Horus, would betray and kill him. The funny thing about visions is that even the Emperor couldn't be entirely sure, even with his powerful accuracy. He seems to not have known about Magnus accidentally breaking his webway to warn him about the Warmaster's betrayal, for instance. But he definitely knew, generally, what would happen, which makes all of this grand plan of his seem way more...
It's like he had the summary of a book, like he knows what happens, but not in details. Agron is a Primarch of the World Eaters. I see. Hello Elise, how is the game so far? I've heard good things about Warhammer. Oh, we're looking at the lore right now. Lore, wow. Great English. We're looking at the lore of Warhammer, not the game itself. You see, Elise, in that universe, belief does have an effect in the material. Yes, that part I've understood. But yeah, I see. Fully banned religion. Okay. Emperor gave his son's daddy issues.
Or like a massive game of regicide. Even back when he was just Neoth, the Emperor knew that he'd have to make sacrifices in order to achieve his goal of a chaos-free human society. And he knew, possibly before he even started, that he would ultimately fail on this attempt. Which means he also knew that by taking the power from the gods way back on Molech, he was
but not how to
agreeing
reach
become
each.
a monster. Over the course of this discussion, we have referenced Neoth as being a god or having godlike powers a fair bit, and that's not an exaggeration. Aside from the fact that we are obligated, privileged, to recognize the Emperor as the god of humanity, he's much more than just some mythical figurehead. The Emperor is literally a god of chaos. Okay, bear with me here, because this lore gets twisty and is probably explained the worst out of everything we've gone over so far. During the final assault of the Horus Heresy, the Emperor led an attack on the Warmaster's ship. Horus was now the champion of the gods, and so he was juiced up with so much power that he was even a match for Neoth, who knew that he had to destroy Horus here or humanity was doomed. What records we have from the battle show that just before he reached Horus's throne room, the Emperor seemed to do what he had always done, set aside ethics and restraint in order to get the job done. He was created as a tool to serve the people of Terra, and that meant he would do whatever it took to end the threat that Horus represented. Drinking deep from the warp, Neoth let go of his humanity and transformed into a dense black orb, the purest manifestation of his power in the Immaterium, a void of pure determination and cruelty, the Dark King. Thankfully, a convenient and timely appearance by the Emperor's old friend, Olanius Person, convinced him that by giving up his humanity, he would only be playing into the gods' hands, and that to win like this would only doom his people to a fate similar to the Eldar. Giving up this power, the Emperor chose to have faith instead. He did manage to kill his son, but Horus basically killed him right back, and what was left of the Emperor was rushed to the Golden Throne, which was rigged to act like a life support system, and he's been there for the last 11,000 years. But this momentary transition into a literal god of the warp is what makes what happened on Molech more reasonable. Like we said, there's no way the gods didn't know Neoth was going to betray them, and since we've seen them strip power from unworthy vessels before, it would stand to reason either that the gods had a plan of their own, or that they couldn't take this power away from Neoth once it had been given. Forgive us for speculating here, but with so little...
It's like the subtitles are like saying Nurgle instead of Neos, and it's making me laugh.
Information, we're forced to look into the possibilities. The gods certainly enjoy sabotaging each other, that's true, but they absolutely hate having more rivals, and will often act together when the order of their great game is in danger of being shaken up. So here's what seems to make the most sense. On Molech, the Emperor tricked, competed, and convinced each of the gods into helping him gain a small bit of the power of the Dark King, a god that has not been born yet. Time flows strangely in the warp, so the king is absolutely a being that exists. It just doesn't seem to have been born yet, just like how Slaanesh certainly existed before the fall of the Eldari birthed it. This would explain why the gods couldn't take the power back once they realized that they'd been tricked. It wasn't theirs to take. All they could do was antagonize the Emperor into becoming that new god, damning all of humanity into feeding the warp with their corrupted souls. Again, just like Slaanesh did with the Eldari. Neoth choosing to stay as human as possible when confronting Horus threw a big wrench into the god's plans, and humanity has limped on ever since. Now, we could be wrong on this guess, but honestly, it's likely the closest we'll get to figuring out what happened, at least until the Emperor resolves whatever it is that's been keeping him on that golden throne for the last 12 millennia. Okay, so obviously there's an easy answer to that question. He's stuck on the throne thanks to the life support systems of the throne itself, keeping him just barely alive enough to not regenerate. The Emperor is a perpetual, remember, so in theory, if he fully passes on, he would just get back up after some time like nothing had happened. But there are some things wrong with that idea. The first and biggest is that his fight with Horus wasn't a normal fight. The two beings were superpowered even beyond basic Psyker level, and their battle took place in the physical as well as the metaphorical. They slashed and punched and played chess and had a conversation. It would have been a wild thing to witness, but Horus was not just killed when he was beaten, he was annihilated in every sense of that word. His very soul had been burned out of the cosmos. And given that he had been trying to do that to his dear old dad, it's a distinct possibility that if the Emperor dies to these wounds, he might not get up again. But that's not even close to all the theories on what could bring the Emperor back to life. Members of the Thorian sect of the Inquisition think that his essence could be transferred to a new vessel, a sort of avatar. Other scholars point to the so-called
He's an avatar himself, so it would make sense
that when the Emperor gave up on the power of the Dark King, he also gave up the part of himself that felt love and compassion so that he could kill his son without hesitation. This theory says that the cast-off parts of the Emperor's soul could form into a new being if his original body were allowed to die. Another related theory says that Neoth had many children the natural way before he rose to take the title of Emperor, and that these children could sacrifice themselves just like those shaman did way back at the beginning of our story and join their energy to revive the Emperor with fresh power. But there is a final, darker theory, one brought to us by the Grey Knights chapter of the Space Marines. Inside an ancient wooden box guarded deep in their most secure vaults on Saturn's former moon of Titan, the Grey Knights keep a scrap of paper that contains a final order that they must follow when certain conditions are met. For a long time, we didn't know what those conditions were or what the orders said to do. Only the Grandmasters of the Grey Knights knew that secret. Thankfully, we recently got a look inside that box. Don't ask me how, but it involved promising not to make any reference to the 2nd and 11th Space Marine Legions in this video. Yes, we just broke that rule, but we're invoking the rule of no takebacks. The Terminus Decree states that, should the Emperor ever leave the seat of the Golden Throne, the Grey Knights are duty-bound to force him back onto it again, no matter who tries to stop them. Okay, so on the surface, the reason for that is pretty clear. When Magnus ripped a hole in the human webway, he let in a bunch of demons, and the Emperor had been holding them back with the help of his custodies, the Sisters of Silence, and a steady diet of 100 sacrifice psychers per day. Should he get off that throne, there would be no one keeping that portal semi-closed, and Terra would be engulfed by demons in no time. But that's not the worst part. Remember the Dark King? Well, he's not going anywhere. He's a growing baby chaos god, and he wants to be born. In his severely weakened state, there's a good chance that once he's been unplugged from the arcane machinery of the Golden Throne, machinery which drains his psychic energy in order to hold the webway portal shut and powers the light of the Astronomican, the beacon that lights the way through the warp for human navigators, then there would be nothing left to stop the Dark King from being born, which could very well mean that even the Emperor himself is working to make sure he keeps his holy butt in that shiny golden chair. Now, none of this is confirmed, so please take it with a huge grain of salt. But as far as we can tell, a lot of very powerful people are very interested in keeping the Emperor on the throne, and from where we're floating, that seems like the best idea for everyone. But as with any good mystery, there's always a dozen or more other theories as to what's been happening or what the future could look like. So tell us what you think. Is the Emperor staying on that throne to keep a new horrifying god from being born? Or would unplugging him bring him back to life so he could save humanity from this grim, dark future? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're there,
if he knows kind of the future and decides not to get off the throne, I suppose it's because he cannot come back from dying like that. Nothing ever happens, Simulator. Okay. It was interesting. It was a very interesting video. Let me just go back to the judging scene while we talk about it and decide what to watch next. Okay. It was interesting. There were so many things I didn't know about the Emperor, and I learned quite a bit. Like I learned about his fuck, I forgot his name, but the person guy. I remember his last name because it's person, and it's kind of funny that the person is like person. But I didn't know about him. I didn't know about the Astartes lady. I know about Erda, but not about the Astartes lady. So I learned quite a lot. He's just waking up. He will get up soon. Yeah, guys, he's sleeping. Fuck, I fucking scratched myself. Simply. Anyways, oh, had a bit of a lag. What to watch next? Gordon Ramsay? No. we're doing a Warhammer 40k special, and also like Golden Ramsay can get me like copyright striked. If the Humper, I already read the, I already like saw this one. I already like saw like a big part of it. I already like saw the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. I don't think we watched everything, but a big part of it. I don't remember. Okay, let's drink. Let's drink. I need to drink twice because I missed one. Don't forget to drink too. As I mentioned, drinking of water is very important in this time. Space King time. What do you mean? Would you please react to the 3 best ways to eliminate Lucius the Eternal by That's Rat Stories? I'd rather not go into like something specific yet. I still need to like know more about like things in not everything in particular, but yeah. Like it's I prefer for to start with like broad things and then get deeper, but I'm still like not well adapted to every like law things. Oh my god, this sentence was not English at all. What I mean to say is that's like I genuinely don't want to go too much into too deep into the law, otherwise I will be lost. Goes over some general stuff. Are you sure? Why is YouTube chat not working again? Let me refresh it. I cannot read your Russian messages. Decent bit of funny bits. Fuck. I keep getting beaten by mosquitoes. Help me. I hate it. I hate summer. I wish summer would unexist. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Catherine. It's much appreciated. Okay. Well, we'll try. We'll try, and then we'll see. Alright, let me try that. Alright. So no, that's not what I wanted to click. That's great. I clicked on the wrong video. Up. Decent bit of funny bits. I don't care about the funny bits. The important thing is learning, but without like being like too how do you call it again? Overwhelmed. Wait just a second. I need to go pee first. I just realized I've been drinking so much. I really need to go pee. So I'm leaving you guys with some music, and then I'll be right back to go to the toilet. I am le back. I am le back. Go back to the right scene. Up. Sorry, I had a bit of a hiccup. Okay.
You sure are an exciting specimen. I can't wait to have fun with you before delivering you to the prince. Ooh, and who are you? Do you really think you could take me on, little man?
Здравейте, драги зрители! Today we'll be compensating for last video's heresy and attempt to get back into the God Emperor's good graces. And we'll do so by talking about one of the most detestable heretics still kicking around in the galaxy at the onset of the 41st millennium, Lucius.
Brother, how about the war in heaven? That's like the beginning of the Horse heresy, or Explore the Primarch, which is both more Imperium or faction explaining. What did you want to learn more about? We're going to call me heretic, but the Chaos Gods. There's like I keep like I only like remembered Slaanesh because they talk a lot about it in the one video I watched, but I don't know a lot about the others.
13th captain of the Emperor's Children Legion and one of the most treasonous scum across all of the Traitor Legions.
Blech.
Yes,
Exactly.
even when counting the Night Lords. Originally he was among the Marines sent to the surface of Istvan III to perish, but returned to Fulgrim's good graces in a most foul manner. During the siege that followed the virus bombing of the Traitor Legions' loyalist elements, he would betray all of the surviving brothers, killing key defenders and tricking others to falsely attack fellow loyalists, thus opening a breakthrough into their defenses
To be
for
fair, I
the
know a bit
traitors'
about
final
this.
assault, all so he could keep his miserable existence. In that conflict, the 3rd Legion's honor,
That's
Soul
a very cool
Province,
armor
would
though.
best him in a one-on-one duel, but regrettably the slimy bastard ran away once outmatched, returning to the fallen ranks of the Emperor's Children, while his better was brought low along with the other few noble Astartes. Since then, he would become a devoted champion of Slaanesh, earning himself titles such as Soul Thief.
Wait, he went from this? Wait. Sorry. He went from this to this? Ew. From this to this disgusting looking venomish weird fuck. He went from smash to I'm going to die if I even breathe the same air as this dude. Ew.
Devoted champion of Slaanesh, earning himself titles such as Soul Thief,
Yeah, the glue
Blade
down
of
here,
Aeons,
glue
and his most
weapons.
infamous one, the Eternal, stemming from a direct blessing placed upon him by the Dark Prince herself. Slaanesh gifted Lucius with the power to latch his soul to whoever manages to kill him, and if said killer felt any satisfaction for doing so, Lucius would then take over their body and reform his own. Essentially, a permanent life hack. Unfortunately, this blessing has kind of mutated to be even more stupid from Slaanesh's meddling. And when I say stupid, I mean it. One time, he blundered.
There are fan comics where two of the Primarchs get used and turn into lollies, and it's usually funny and actually funny and not gross. What the fuck? Huh?
To step on a landmine and went kapoof. You would expect for that to be it, since there was no direct murderer involved. However, he reformed himself in the body of the person who had built that landmine because he had, and I kid you not, felt satisfaction that the mine itself was well made and would do its job.
Really?
What?
I
Okay,
mean,
brief side.
that makes sense. Like gods in all like fictions and everything like that, they love like adding like some sort of like stupid asterisks with like conditions, terms and conditions that make everything fucked up. Makes sense. It makes sense. But it's funny. I didn't know this part of him.
Tangent. But bullshit aside, that is terrifying. Just imagine this. You are some random menial on a hive city working in a munitions manufactorum. Day in and day out, life is just the usual drudgy existence all the time. Then suddenly, one Thursday, Frank from the tank shell department, who recently, finally made Employee of the Month because his shells were the most well-made, all of a sudden deforms himself into this giant grotesque turd monster with a
Oh, he keeps his like disgusting appearance, so no matter who like he turns into. I thought that he was like possessing a body and not like transforming a body entirely.
tentacle for an arm. Panic ensues, people are screaming and running around. Then the thing that used to be Frank says,
"This is a very rude reaction, besties. Oh, well, you're gonna be so ketamine. I'm gonna cry."
I'm scared.
and proceeds to repaint the facility with everyone's insides. I would not want to be at work on such a day. With this ridiculous ability to respawn,
Thankfully, it cannot happen
whenever
to
the
me
one
because I'm
responsible for
jobless.
his death feels any positive emotion towards the act of removing the stain, Lucius the Eternal has plagued the galaxy and common decency for over 10 millennia. And considering the excessive levels
His
of
armor is
degenerate heresy he
disgustingly
gets on
grotesque,
about,
but also
it is
like
no
super
surprise
cool.
that many have thought whether there is a way to actually put this monster down permanently. If someone could actually kill him and not get
Good night,
overtaken.
Gex.
If it is even possible to accomplish such a task. Actually, yes. Supposedly, one rumor says, only someone who has nothing but mercy in their soul can truly end him. But in this rat's opinion, there are easier ways to do so than finding a truly merciful being in the 40k setting. Allow me to present you with the most viable theories for it.
Politically alien.
Now, the first thing that probably comes to mind as a suitable person to integrate Lucius back into the soil would be a Necron. Sadly, there has been an instance where a Necron assassin known as the Phasing Sword cut the slimy testicle down. But because a fleeting vestige of its personality from when it was alive felt an ember of cold pride from the act, the undead robot transformed into the slashed-up fleshy degenerate. The Tyranids could give it a try, since they are technically an emotionless tide of teeth, but honestly it would be best to not risk a high fleet thinking, it was nice getting some extra nutrients during this lunch hour, and what would happen after that? No. Surprisingly enough, in my opinion, your best bet for permanently killing Lucius would be Eldar, specifically the Solitaires of the Harlequins. Discounting any direct divine intervention from Slaanesh herself, Lucius is left with just his curse to survive, and it in of itself is a warp phenomenon. That means that, technically, blanks should be immune to it, due to the warp having absolutely no effect on them. So if we are being honest, honorable mention, Jurgen can put the tentacle sucker down for good with his trusty Melta. Personally, however, if this interaction of warp curse and blankness would go as I believe, I would go with the Solitaires, who get their souls pulled out and become artificial pariahs for several reasons.
Thank you for the raid, Rixie. Hello,
Firstly-
hello everyone. My name is Ellie Stoneheart. We're doing a Warhammer 40k lore watching stream right now. We're trying to find out how to kill Lucius, the disgusting traitor Lucius. But hey, good post there. Wait, yeah. I mean, it's not. You're a pervert. You're a pervert. I hope you guys had a nice stream. I don't know what you were doing. Right, let me give you a quick shout out. I need to swap scenes. Just a second. Hello. Okay. Up. Now. I keep like trying to write instead of shouting out. I'm stupid. Like, it's something I'm very stupid at. I keep like doing it again and again and again. Up now. Well, I hope you had a great stream. Had a great stream. Bam, bam, bam. So as I mentioned, we're watching Warhammer 40k lore. I'm very new to it. I know like the basic gigs of the history. Just before that, we watched a 40 minutes long video on the Emperor, on his entire life basically, that he's known. Most I suppose, you're just a freak, there's nothing sus in that pose. Lucius can be killed by removing the warp using Necron technology, which they use in the Pariah Nexus. Maybe he will say that. Maybe. We're not done with the videos technically. He's only like talking about like the first. There's like two other things he's going. Two other ways he's going to talk about. So yes, we're currently watching a video about how to kill Mr. Lucius, who is a very evil dude, very bad. A traitor, and we don't like traitors here. You know, might sound crazy, but hot take. I think traitor should die. Hot take. Fucking like warm, not warm, even like lukewarm, not even lukewarm, cold as take. Like it's just something obvious. I'm not someone that shows mercy quite easily, let's say. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that the crazy French VTuber did not accept to show forgiveness to other people, especially the traitors. I don't know. I think I would do very terribly in the Warhammer world. Like we talked about it the first time around. I think it was the first time around did the watch along. It's the third one. Third, 1, 2, 3, third, 1, 2. Okay, and I talked about it, and I was like, if I were to be reborn in that world, I'd kill myself. And you guys had told me, okay, but if you do that, your soul will be eaten by the warp, and then you will be tortured indefinitely. And I was like, fuck you. Oh, you're a good Dalek. I'm not a Dalek. No, I don't believe in extermination. Okay, it's different. Anybody who kills Lucius directly or indirectly and feels anything transforms into him. Thought steal. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you for the stream. It's not over yet. There's still 13 left of stream. Any normal person would be fucked in the Warhammer universe regardless. Yeah, but some people are even more tuney than I, and would love to like try their luck. Would be like, no, I would be able to live in Attack on Titan universe because I'm so cool and everything, you know. And your body would be used as a servitor, exactly. I mean, I'm cute. Maybe they'll take a liking to me. I don't know, guys. I'm copying Napoleon of Warhammer now. I just cry in a corner and hope to have a peaceful death. I don't know. Oh my god. Okay, let's go back to the video. Oh fuck. Wrong scene. Okay.
Eldar Booty Cheeks. You're welcome, Bradley. Secondly, the
Eldar
Harlequins
what?
are an elite force across the Eldar species. Given what they are made to do, namely fighting off all breeds of demons and other power-lusting beings in defense of the Black Library, their fighting prowess can be compared to that of the Custodes, and Solitaires count among the cream of their crop that even surpasses them, meaning that one of them would be more than able to actually kill Lucius in a duel. And best of all, if they are immune to his curse, they can actively make fun of him. It would be a...
Actually, not true. The best life you can be in Warhammer 40k is being a sperm that someone just like jerk off to, and it falls onto the ground and you die.
Perfect irony for
That's the best life.
She who thirsts his favorite champions to be slain forever by an Eldar, while also being turned into a clown show. Poetic and priceless.
Bloody affair.
But of course, I can understand that might not be a satisfying answer for some of you. Oh, just some nameless elves that say, "Nuh-uh, your god-given power doesn't work on me." I know. Someone like the Soul Thief deserves to get his shit kicked in spectacular fashion by someone with gravitas. That can technically be achieved fairly easily among the ranks of Chaos itself. Practically any of the big-name champions that are tethered to one of the other Chaos gods have a good chance of killing Lucius and getting away with it, since the power of Slaanesh would need to contend with that of her rival brothers. And theoretically, it wouldn't be able to just steal a soul already in the grasp of another god. However, worry not, as I'm not going to just leave you with this copy.
I'm sorry.
Answer. Of course, there is one specific individual that I have in mind as a plausible solution to the problem that is the bold, treasonous spastic. Karn the Betrayer. Arguably the man with the most protection against Lucius's curse without cheating by being a blank. On one hand, you have the fact that Khorne utterly despises Slaanesh and her pansy-ass followers. So if her championed soul even tries to come within sniffing distance of his...
I'm just, like, not only Khorne and his design, I'm sorry, but, like, the design they show, plus the name Khorne, just make me laugh. But I am okay, yeah.
Followers. So if her championed soul even tries to come within sniffing distance of his own top dog, it would most likely be forced to fuck off. Because that type of blessing is very much so an underhanded means of fighting, something that would only piss Khorne off even more. And then, on the other, the matter that, regrettably, Karn's mind is so far gone at this point that the only thing he is capable of feeling is anger. Even if anything else could skip over the shallows of his mind, the only thing that would surface upon killing Lucius of all people would be disgust for filthing up his weapons. Last but certainly not least with this example, you have the satisfaction of someone so cocksure of themselves being viciously pounded into the dirt. It is very clear that Lucius thinks that he is him, but he fails to realize that with Sigismund and Sevatar no longer being around, Karn is the only one who is actually him. Admittedly, my supply of chopped up Erebus is running out, so I need that second episode of
The
Cooking
shuttle
with
French are
Karn
followers
for a
of
new recipe.
Slaanesh, no.
Okay. Having the protection of another Chaos God isn't exactly a fair way of settling the matter. It is not a satisfying conclusion for a righteous follower of the God Emperor. Hence why I have saved the best theory for last. For there exists one person, one man, that Lucius should be praying to never face upon the field of battle.
Me.
Garin Crow, Castellan of the Grey Knights, Brotherhood champion of the
A
Purifiers
Grey
Order,
Knight!
the purest lad.
We talked about them earlier.
You know that meme, none purer? Yeah, that is Crow after his body absorbed all those purity seals. Now, in order for it to make sense why I'm bringing him up, allow me to illuminate you about his weapon, not of choice, but of duty. The Black Blade of Antweer, a demonic sword said to either contain the essence of an incredibly powerful demon within itself, or, according to some unverified speculation, maybe even a shard of an entity that was possibly once a rival to the Great Four. Point being that it is so ancient that not even the Grey Knights have any idea how long it has been around for.
He has a fucking lightsaber?
Probably
That's crazy.
war in heaven, at least. And on top of being so old, it is also incredibly powerful, able to possess the mind and body of anyone holding it. Then, after acquiring such a host, being able to form an army by taking over the minds of others around it. At one point, it nearly took over an entire sector of space, making it a threat that necessitated the involvement of the entire Grey Knights chapter in order to capture it. Where in comparison, a greater demon of a Chaos God usually only requires one squad of the Silver Boys to deal with, while something like a demon Primarch only warranted a company. Scariest part of all being that even after studying the thing for 1,000 years, then having it captured for centuries, Malkador's pet project have never figured out how to keep the damn thing sealed, let alone destroy it. Other than a champion of the Purifiers holding onto it, being the only people who can resist its influence and keeping it contained. Alas, even these mighty warriors were not fully up to the task, as in its tenure with the Sons of Titan, Antweer has corrupted and nearly escaped several such champions. Until Garin Crow gripped its hilt. For decades now, this impossibly powerful demonic entity has tried everything it knows to break the man. Offers of power, authority, riches, freedom, lies,
evil
truths,
KFC,
threats, figuratively bashing itself bloody in their psychic mindscape and so on, and has never found even a scratch in the Purifier's defenses, born of utter, ultimate neutrality. No thoughts
Khorne isn't the god of what
maintaining his
Slaanesh
task.
is the god of.
No emotions. Just complete, stubborn, probably autistic, unyielding indifference. The only proper inconvenience it has ever managed to cause him is that, since Crow is forced to use the blade in battle due to having to always keep it in his grasp, is being little better than a useless hunk of metal. Because the Castellan ignores all of its prodding to use its power, despite its stylish look, the blade does not really function differently from a regular sword. An indestructible sword, yeah, but nowhere near as potent as the war gear of even lesser Astartes. Additionally, the blade is sometimes able to exert enough power over its own form to cause Garen's attacks and posture to shift by minuscule amounts. Quarter of an inch here, quarter of an inch there, in order to get him to slip up or make an opening for an enemy to rid the Black Blade of its wielder. But he always compensates for it to his Eldritch Captive's eternal misery. With such a strident training regime to keep an even head, it is beyond any doubt for me that if Crow were to kill Lucius, and honestly the guy that is regularly squaring up to demons in melee while his own unpowered sword is trying to kill him, has more than likely chance to beat the brakes off the reprobate that often madly throws himself into a fight because he thinks he's immortal, the champion of Slaanesh's soul would be permanently affixed to the hip of a walking rock, doomed to an eternity of being completely ignored. Or bullied by Antwer, who has a lot to vent about.
Wood? What do you mean wood? That was disgusting.
And those are, in my mind, the three most likely...
So, aside from du coup, as you guys said, that the Nocron would use a fucking anti-chaos device, right? The warp, using Necron technology, removing the warp. Okay. Let's go back to the chatting scene. Interesting. How would you kill him, personally? How would you kill him? I think like it's a cool curse to have, honestly. I mean, I don't think it's a curse. It's a curse to like whoever kill him, but it's a buff to himself. Like, it cannot really be considered a curse in a way. Unless he wants to die, but I don't think he does. If you want to learn more about Slaanesh, there's going to be a lot of that. Yeah, I know, no, don't worry. I know what Slaanesh is the god of, and I know how they were born. I can easily solo him. You're too prideful, but you would get the issue. Health. I don't know if you were listening to the whole shebang. Is that if you feel any pride in killing him, he becomes you. He changes your body and becomes you, and you're dead. Show his mom his internet search history. Using a robot. But a robot bad. Robot bad, be careful. Oh, a very cold and determined being. But like using a robot, depending on how it works, they might still like, you know, how there was the mine thing. They said that he was killed by a mine, and because the guy who made the mine was prideful that the mine was so greatly made, well, he took possession of said man. So a robot is not like even like the fact you build the robot might kill you in the end. Okay. I don't think he wants the life of unemployment. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's that crazy. I'm depressed enough that if I kill him, he won't even dare to take over. Oh, I think he doesn't care because he changes your body and soul. You're not yourself anymore. He just like takes your life instead. So I don't think he cares. Personally, I think I would bait him, say hello, I have cookies, and then I just like put him somewhere bad. Like a prison, forever. Like, why kill him when you can just imprison him forever and it fucks with Slaanesh? Slaanesh will be very mad. just like the you know how there's like the invincible snail game, and like you just like put the snail in a cage and then you can like live forever however you want. It's the same thing. Just put him in the cage. Bye-bye. But in a cage that's like super impossible to reach. Like, you know how like you put him in a fucking black hole, bro. I didn't kill him. The black hole did. It's not me. The black hole did. But the snail will always get out. No. Can't. Red can punch him with his own head between his legs. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. Robot bat, and the crater of the robot will be invaded. Exactly, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So you just throw him into a black hole. Like a black hole would kill him. But the black hole is not a sentient being. But if he dies of hunger and you feel anything positive, you will become him. Well, I will feed him. He dies of old age. He dies of old age. What can I say? What can I say? I'm trying to find a way. But I think the black hole one is a good one, no? I feel like it would work. Am I crazy? Like, why would it not work? You didn't kill him. He just died to a black hole. Oh no! Tough shit. Okay, let's go to the burgers. Happens. Just happens. Just nuke him. Have 20 people push the button. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say, babe. That's what I was about to say. You do like the how do you call it? The Japanese execution style. Everyone presses a button and no one knows what they did with the button. Like, everyone presses a button and you don't know, maybe like you make them believe that pressing the button would give them 40 euros. 40,000 euros. 40k. Because it's a funny pun. So basically, the people that would have killed him don't know they killed him. And they would be prideful to have won money, not to have killed someone. Huh. Fuck no. Wouldn't work. Time dilation will stop him right before the event horizon, so he's not even dead, he's just frozen there. Yeah, why not? But he would die at some point from like I don't know, like hunger or something. Their living concept, Khons's the god of finishing things, Slaanesh the god of dragging things out. They cancel each other out, and each approach is the key to defeating the other. True. It's a good way of seeing things. The issue with the black hole is issuing with 40k's logic. It would probably send him to a war place with blackjack and hookers. But the real black hole is not a wormhole. Would just like spaghettify him. You throw him in through the black hole, that likely counts. Huh. You put someone, I mean not you, but you order someone to have a shuttle, like you captured Lucius, alright? You captured Lucius, you put him in a shuttle, and you don't tell the navigator what happened, but you tell the navigator, okay, drive into this black hole, it will be made, you will die, but your family will have lots of money, you will die, and you will save the world. Would that not work? Like, if his killer dies with him. If his killer dies with him, would that not work? Or like, his killer kills him and then kills himself right after? Because we don't know how fast it goes. Like, you put poison in someone's mouth, and before they die, they shoot the guy, and then they eat the poison. What about that? Okay. If you can put him in the box, just leave him in the box. Yeah. Lily's experience has figured out the way, and that is to remove his armor before killing him. Really? Is it that easy? Slaanesh be like, good idea. Unfortunately, I decided to make all your efforts go to waste. Slaanesh decided, no. Nah, I don't want that. Nah. And you know what? Fair enough. It's your toy. would have to memory wipe yourself, because if you know he died, then you feel anything, he comes back. But yeah, it would work. Not if you die too. If you die too... If you die too, it's okay. No? I feel like the best plan is like the one driving into a black hole. Like the driver dies with him. Yeah, but it's not fun. True. For me it's fun. I bet with the suicide, the dude who crafted the bullet to kill the killer would then get possessed. That depends how fast the possession happens, right? Like, if the possession is instant at the moment of the murder, then yes. Otherwise, I would say no. What if we just have a conga line of execution? Surely at some point someone will forget what he's doing is. That's a very fucked up way, but I'm sure it's true. To get blackout drunk and kill him in a 1v1. No, get blackout drunk and then just like press the button without knowing what you're doing. You've killed him, but you didn't feel anything. You're just drunk. Oh! Can he possess a cat? I have an idea, guys. You have the button to kill him, right? And then you use a laser, and then you point the laser on the button. The cat presses the button. The cat will not feel proud about doing anything particular. He's just a cat. He will continue to like chase the laser. You see like moving around. And then he's dead. And that is a fun mess. Yeah, a cat assist. The cat will not know. He will not be proud of like touching a button. He will be proud if he catches the laser. But the laser is not what killed him. The laser he still has not caught. He will just accidentally walk on the button, ultimately killing him. How to kill us is the loser. Become a chaos god and turn his face into a backhand tango dancing round. Well, becoming the chaos god part is maybe hard. A cat in the Primarch. That's insane. Yeah! It's the funny kind of insane. Slanish would like that. I think we should go with that idea, guys. We go with that idea, even Slanish will be like, okay, you know what? That's fucking funny. Let's do that. Go back in time and kill him as a baby. We can go backwards in the warp, or you say it's horary. But I think it's like retroactive. I could be wrong, but I think it's retroactive. Otherwise, you could just like go back and stop Slanish from spawning. I can't drink water. Don't forget to drink water too. Shark with lasers on the head. If you want to, sure. I don't know. Okay, we have now figured out how to kill Lucius, or maybe try to, without using the Necron's hands. Help, not hands, in their hands too, but whatever. We are going to cut stream soon, in about 10 minutes. We're going to just yap a bit more. Tomorrow we'll stream again, most likely Ace Attorney, in case you were wondering. I don't know if we're at the last case yet. How many cases are in the first Ace Attorney game? We've done 3 so far, so we're at the 4th one. Maybe there's just 5? I don't know. Can we get a good night kiss? Nah. Tomorrow if you want, but not today. No, not today. I don't feel like it. While streaming, I was feeling a bit better, honestly. It's good. Hopefully, it will be the same tomorrow. Send Tarare forward in time to eat him and see what happens. I don't know this name, but it's scary enough. So no. I don't know what this is, but it sounds scary. So I will say no. Okay, everyone. So Elise, who is our next guest? Our next guest? What? What do you mean by that? Not sure what you mean. Guess in what sense of the way? In what sense? My back is scratching me, itching me, itchy. Ooh. So I'm very excited to play Ace Attorney. I was about to like play Ace Attorney today, but my man is home, so I was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. It's okay. It's all good. But I was super like surprised last time, like on last stream. The fact that last Ace Attorney stream like took 4 hours to complete the case, I was so surprised. I thought we were at least at the half of it, and then it took fucking 4 hours to finish it. I was so surprised, but I love the game so far. Is the rumor true that you possess the might of the demonic blood of Virgil and the Redfield lineage? No, it is not. Ace Attorney streams are fun with your voiceovers. Thank you. They destroy my throat, but I'm having fun too, so who cares? That's the most important part. Okay, so today we learned a lot about the Emperor and how to kill Lucius. I wonder what we'll watch next time. Next time will be in a couple of weeks. Like, we were supposed to like do this stream over 2 weeks ago. So next time will be in a couple of weeks, like maybe on the 15th. On the 15th we'll do another what's it called? Warhammer 40k laureate. Because I want to know more so I can get into the books. I want to know more so we can get into the fucking books finally. I want to read the books. I want to, but I don't understand what's happening in the books. At least in Gunst. I will try to like read it again. I will try to read it again because maybe will be enough. Read the orc books. They are funny. I'll check that. Do you see Death Note? Yes. At least the first full part 1. The part 2 I don't remember as much, but I've seen it, yeah. No guess, did you see the slushy? I'm just joking with you. Oh, and Tatari was an 18th century person who had an eating disorder, quite an infamous phenomenon. I see. What have I stumbled across? A French person. That's crazy, right? They exist? They are real? French women at that? Women are real? Nah. French are real? Nah. But yes, he tumbled into the stream of a female watching Warhammer 40k lore. That's crazy. Good night, ladies. Good night, Jack. Good night, Awake. It was nice seeing you here. Thanks for the stream and lore. Thank you for watching. It's much appreciated. And afterwards, for the rest of the week, I think we'll, if I'm available Monday, we'll do Malenia. If not Malenia on Tuesday. We still have to like kill her. I feel like we'll do it in next stream. So either like Monday or Tuesday Malenia, tomorrow Ace Attorney, and then for the rest of the week we'll see. We'll see when we get to it. We have to like play Wargotabi again. We might do an art stream next week again, but like not a donation stream, like just me working on commissions type of deal. Tarar was French. What? Tarar? Tarar is a city. Are you sure it's written like that? CIO, great stream, learned a lot about 40k. I did learn a lot too, and thank you everyone for... I know it's not the right way, but backseating me. Because like it was great. I learned quite a deal because like sometimes like videos are either not accurate or like they still are too vague to me. Referenced you. Yeah, exactly. You took the wheel. Thank you for taking the wheel and explaining everything to my silly little brain. So everyone, I want to thank you for watching. As a first, of course. I want to remind you to drink a lot of water, okay? Drink a lot of water, it's very important. Eat healthy, yummy food. I say that, but I ate burger tonight. I wanted to eat burger, okay, so I ate burger. Okay, I'll drink, and then we finish the end of the stream. Yeah. Sorry, the water is not... It's getting too warm, so I will have to change it. Anyways, Take care of yourself, drink a lot of water, sleep a lot. Please eat healthy, yummy food as I mentioned. Sleep well, rest well, take care of yourself during the heat waves, no matter where you live. We'll see each other tomorrow for some Ace Attorney. And in less than 2 weeks, no, more than 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks for another Warhammer 40k lore react. If you want to watch it, subscribe or don't, I don't care. You do whatever makes you happy in life.